Wait, what?
Yeah. People have been like arrested for hiding in porta potties.
He's finally alone. If you get a busted
The
puppy,
next time we have a busted
I'll
dog.
consider it. I'm not making any promises right now. But... you hang out getting wet and wild with your dog.
Now I did hit record. Oh man, I'm gonna have to edit a swear in the first minute.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's just not worth getting a bathing suit wet if Freya gets in mud or something and I need to give her a bath. Like, it's not like she's rooting around. She stands there with her head down in the water looking dejected.
Yeah, right. Why ruin a bathing suit? You know what I mean? I would do the same thing. Come on.
It's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Especially like, I live alone. No one's judging me.
Yeah, exactly.
Just our fans.
Exactly.
It's like, it's just so much more practical.
Yeah.
There's some things that are, you accept that. Like, for example, we've all heard how terrible it is when a toilet flushes, how it spews, even with the lid down and like shit out the side and into the air.
Mm-hmm.
We all still keep our toothbrush on the counter.
Right. Yes.
Like, you just accept that, like, you know, it'll probably help my immune system or something.
Yeah. It's never been a problem before.
It's enough, especially in my bathroom where the toilet is like 2.5 feet direct line to the countertop.
Yeah.
I do insist that anyone who uses it close the lid when they flush. I think that is a courtesy that you should always do.
Yeah.
I do that even in a public bathroom or like at my office where it's just got the U-shaped seat and no true lid.
Mm-hmm.
I still put that down for sure, even if I just pee when I flush, because it still prevents some spray to me and everyone else. Also, every time I flush, except like when I'm at home and the lid is shut and everything.
Yeah.
Whenever I flush in one of those bathrooms where you can't actually close the toilet, I immediately like
duck and cover
and then turn. Either step out of the stall if there's space to, or at least go to like the far corner and turn away.
Wow.
Just because I don't want that spraying on my face as much as I can avoid it.
Yeah.
That's to me is an extra second. And now just so habit that is well spent.
For me, the seat covers thing, it's like...
I always use them. I was doing that before they were available in the bathrooms that I shat in. I would tear off toilet paper, fold it over because single ply Yukon
for me, it's like...
And make a U.
It's my ass and the back of my thighs. Like, what skin-eating bacteria is going to get on there that will be so harmful?
But for me, my excuse, I think, is that like... especially jeans, I try to wear several days in a row before, not in a row, but like several times before washing them.
Yeah.
So I try to keep as much cleanliness as possible. And like, I don't know, but at the very least, if I don't set something down, I always take toilet paper and wipe the seat once first. I think that started at camp, throwback to last episode, because the extra, not cabin, but like the outbuilding where all of the showers and toilets were, was generally filthy, so I was always laying out toilet paper. Like that's where the habit started for sure. And then I was like, you know what? This is generally worth it. Slightly mitigates the cold seat factor. It, in all likelihood, isn't a problem, but like, who the fuck knows? Maybe I've got like a little scrape on the back of my leg, or like I popped a weird thigh pimple and there's like a technically open. Like, why expose myself to what I don't trust other people to keep clean?
Yeah.
And again, to me, it's like another couple of seconds that is a good enough investment that I'm like, yep, this is just habit. This is routine. And now all of the offices that I work in or hospitals that you go to or whatever the case may be usually have seat covers, so it's fine. Well,
I guess I just can't be bothered. I don't know. I
wasn't because then I can be clean in whatever clothes I'm wearing. I can be clean if I'm in my underwear on the couch. I don't have to worry about that as much.
I wasn't the biggest hand washer growing up either. And I remember one time in like elementary school and being in the bathroom and hearing some kid tell me, yeah, washing your hands is for fraidy cats. And then he leaves the bathroom without washing his hands. And that really stuck with me, I think, for a long time. That washing your hands is for fraidy cats, but you know, nowadays it's pretty dang important, so can't say don't do it, but
I'm like a medium washer. Like I always at least rinse, but it's usually just rinse. I'm not like a deep scrub, use soap often type of guy.
The only time I would just rinse is when I'm trying to like impress a stranger in the bathroom and make them think that I'm hygienic without.
That's like my go-to, that lowish medium level.
Yeah.
Yeah, not great.
If I'm actually going to wash my hands, yeah, I'm using soap.
I think these habits were kind of concretized and definitely enforced like the better hand washing when I started EMTing, because when I went to the bathroom, it was like after being sweaty and maneuvering a sick person
Yeah.
and just being gross, like having layers of gloves on so my hands are soaking with sweat.
Right.
And like then you want to be as clean as possible if I'm going to be in the car and like eating my meal or something.
That's actually one thing I will say is I do wash my hands at the gym because I know that I'm touching things that everyone else has to touch, and have touched things that everyone else has touched. So you just like never know how clean anything is.
I end up washing my hands like 2 or 3 times while I'm at the gym, just like taking another little piss and like I'm gonna wash my hands.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Or if I'm like passing by them, I'm like, my hands are kind of gross. And, like,
yeah,
I want to be able to wipe sweat or whatever.
Yeah, your hands are kind of all over everything. Sometimes like the floor too, like you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, other people's bodily juices.
I will say they're pretty good at my gym. All of the patrons are about at least wiping down.
Yeah,
They've
same.
got all the wipe stations, so all of the benches. Most people wipe the grips. I'll be honest.
There's some
if
things
it's like
I don't wipe.
a barbell, I'll wipe the grip, or a machine, I'll wipe the grip.
Yeah, same.
But if it's like a dumbbell or a plate that I grab, I'm like, this is like a grabby part.
Yeah.
Something about sometimes I'll wipe a dumbbell, but
very rarely will I wipe a dumbbell. I also won't wipe like a pull-up bar. I won't wipe.
Yeah, if I just jump up and hang to stretch my back on the bar that's above like the cable machine, I'll drop down and like I won't think to do that.
Right.
Then wipe the pull-up bar 2 sets later.
Yeah, it is kind of arbitrary, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Also like grips on cable machines. Like if I'm using a handle to do like flies or like tricep pull downs,
I'll wipe the pads that my thighs are on.
But yeah, if it's something on like a cable like that, like I probably won't wipe it.
You know what's weird though? I've never talked to anyone about that. I never directly asked like the owner what the guidelines are, or what he wants wiped down, or if it's everything, every time, every set, what. But it felt pretty immediately intuitive that those are the things I wipe and the things I don't.
Yeah.
And from looking around, it seems almost identical to what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that was just sorted naturally what grew. Maybe I learned it subconsciously watching other people.
Yeah.
But it seems like that's the correct thing now when I look around.
For
like
some
that
reason,
level of wipe down.
For some reason,
they also walk through every like hour and a half and spray everything. So
really?
My gym's pretty freaking good. Okay. I don't think they've had any COVID linked cases.
I don't know if my gym's that good about it, but
like I'm sure people who go to the gym have had COVID, but they haven't. From what I've heard, and I ask every now and then because they're friendly people there. I don't think they've had any like linked cases where like COVID spread because of the gym.
Right.
With all the contact tracing they do.
Crap.
Sorry, hey, I think I ran over something.
No,
I've been bulldozing today. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. We were talking about COVID cases, going to the gym.
What you wipe down, what you don't.
Yes, I think, what you wipe down and what you don't. I think it's basically just if only your hands are touching it, you don't wipe it down.
Yeah, kind of.
So like dumbbells, tricep pull downs, cable flies, pull-ups. Whereas like if you're bench pressing.
It's like you all trust each other to be kind of incidentally getting your hands wiped as you wipe down machines and washing your hands most frequently.
I think at that point,
that's the part that you just accept the hands are going to have intercontact.
Exactly. At that point, it's kind of hopeless. Yeah. Also, like barbells usually aren't cleaned, even if a bench is. A lot of people don't do grips. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't.
I think, that might just be where we accept as a group we're not going to be able to maintain a level of adherence.
Yeah, to hand stuff. So like,
unless everyone wore like gloves and that they changed between every set.
Yeah. But chairs and stuff we can control. Chairs, benches, machines.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which
I'm
is
glad
weird
we cracked the
because
code.
It's mostly about what you're, if I'm correct, by like breath and particles and aerosol stuff rather than like touch or what you would sweat out your butt or back.
Yeah.
I don't think that like behind the knee sweat can transmit COVID.
Yeah, masks are probably the most important thing as usual.
And that's they're pretty good at my gym.
Yeah.
People on cardio machines usually have them not covering their noses. But I've recently started doing the stair climber for cardio, so I'm above most of that.
That's not literally. Yeah, I don't know. My gym is people are, I think they started out being really strict about it. And now that like you can do whatever the fuck you want. Most people still wear masks, but like a lot of people who work out there are very loose about like
Chin diapers.
yeah, chin diapers kind of not sometimes, but that's usually only if they're off in a corner by themselves. I very rarely see. I don't think I've seen anyone just straight up walk across the gym not covered up, but a lot of like noses showing, um,
Yeah.
stuff like
I
that.
did absentmindedly once walk all the way in to the reception desk and scan in, and then realize I'd left my mask in the car. And I'm
They
like,
let you walk in.
well, there was like a person behind the desk. I don't know if they'd looked up yet, but it
Probably.
was like
Oh,
right as I
okay.
got there and like scanned, I was like, oh, like I realized before they could point it out, and
Right,
I pulled my
right.
shirt up, ran outside, grabbed a mask, and was like, I'm so sorry, just slipped my mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, it's going okay. I think that there is a safe way to do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm hearing the most about now in the lockdowns is that it's really just the businesses that are getting crushed at this point. They aren't like lockdowns aren't helping anymore. The counties across the nation that have the strictest lockdowns, LA,
Yeah.
are having the highest rates because people are just doing illegal and unregulated family gatherings and friend gatherings
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Yeah, people are sick of it, man.
And like our goof up with Hamza, bad communication.
Mm.
Slap on the wrist for us. Luckily, at this point, 2 weeks later, we know it was good.
Yeah.
We made it out okay. But
Exactly.
got to be better.
For sure.
All of us.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We're coming close to the finish line, too.
Yeah. By the time this airs, I will be closer to my second dose of the COVID vaccine than I had my first already. As we're recording
Closer
this.
or
Closer to the second than the first.
oh, how many weeks is it in between?
4 for the Moderna.
Okay. Right,
yeah,
right.
Thanks to being an EMT, the first responder thing. Although they don't know for certain that, like, there's no published stuff that the vaccine prevents transmission between people who have been exposed.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just reduces intensity of symptoms in the person who is vaccinated.
Gotcha.
I think the hope is that it will still enable your body to fight off the virus better, kind of limit the viral load and the progression of it into your body, if at all.
Right.
Therefore, reproducing less, getting less chances to replicate and spread.
Yeah.
And I think everything that I've learned in school tells me that if the vaccine is successful in preventing more extreme symptomatic reactions, it would to some extent help, at least, in reducing the possibility of transmission to other people.
Right.
Again,
although
studies
that
not
wouldn't
out-
be the primary change happening.
Yeah, I think that's not what we have been able to design it to do.
Okay.
Although that would be more ideal. That's why we need like 90% or whatever vaccinated.
Right.
Whatever the number they're touting. But no guarantee that's how that works or how it functions, but I think that's how it should. And I think that is the logic in giving it to first responders. Half that, they are getting the most frequent exposures.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of my shifts recently, I've at least had one COVID patient during them.
Yeah.
And also the possibility that they could serve as a vector between patients.
Yeah.
And that is why, despite my like kind of back and forth on some of the pros and cons of the vaccines, I think that it was worth it for me.
What are some of the cons?
I mean, not that it doesn't work. It does in the way that they say. The concerns are that it is the first time we've used an mRNA vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So they're realistically, and I don't know, I think that the trials and the theory and the science behind it is sound, but there is a chance that using this type of derivated vaccine will have downstream effects that we don't really know about.
Okay.
My guess...
It's like the effects of vaping.
Sure.
Like it's probably not good, but there's not enough to build like a huge case.
And
as
it might
of yet.
not even be that it's probably not good. It could very well be harmless. Like it could very well be that your body gets enough of a sensitization to the protein that this mRNA codes for it to produce.
Mm-hmm.
And then the excess mRNA or whatever is broken down as other mRNA produced by your body naturally is.
Yeah.
It could very well be that nothing happens, but it is that there is not the established years long. You can do a lot of things rushed in rush trials and emergency authorizations, but what you can't do is speed time up. So you cannot fit a 15-year longitudinal study into 1 year, no matter what government authorizations you have.
Yeah.
That's not how time works.
Mm-hmm.
So until we get really good at near light speed travel and we can speed up vaccine trials somehow,
Yeah.
or whatever, visit a black hole, it'd be the opposite. You have a limited window of like lengthwise view of how it works. So there is like a non-zero chance that the way it was made does stuff. There are also other aspects of shortening the timeline. Like this had pretty much all of the world's best vaccine scientists working on it,
Hmm.
or damn near that, I would assume.
Yeah.
The incentive financially is huge in terms of like Nobel laureate status potential.
Right. Right.
This got the attention it could. So it probably didn't have like massive flaws overlooked.
Hmm.
I believe that it is 94.5 and 95 for whatever respective vaccine effective.
Yeah.
I just also acknowledge that there are aspects of this that we did have to cut corners.
Hmm.
You don't get an emergency authorization from regular authorization without cutting some things out. It takes a decade.
There's a
because
reason why there are
yeah.
those levels. Yeah.
Exactly. There's a reason why it takes longer than this.
Hmm.
Most of those things were most likely addressed to a satisfying enough point. There will be side effects and problems and consequences, as there are with any medicine, any
Yeah.
vaccine,
Right.
any treatment, any therapeutic, any
We just may
surgery.
not know what they are with this one.
And it might not be worse than other vaccines. Like there
Mm.
might be a higher percentage of adverse polio vaccine reactions than
Right.
this. I just acknowledge that there is a non-zero chance and that it is harder to predict than with other vaccines.
Okay.
And I think that that's a reasonable view to hold.
Yeah, definitely.
And in general, if it was me living in an insulated place by myself, just working remotely, I don't think that I would have gone for one of the first, A, because I'm not high risk,
Hmm.
and B, because I think there are people who need and deserve it more,
Right.
and C, because I have some misgivings in that order. Or not misgivings, just I think relatively well-reasoned concerns.
Yeah, you have a healthy
about the
amount of
process.
skepticism. Yeah.
And I think that I understand enough of the science behind it. Like I know what mRNA is, how you synthesize it, and what it does in the body
Hmm.
to at least get a rough picture of what's going on.
And what could possibly go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that just weighing the numbers, it would be a 60-40. I wouldn't get it in the first year or so.
Hmm.
I would be willing to get it to contribute to herd immunity. I just don't think I would want to or should be in the front lines.
Yeah.
However, working as an EMT with the possibility of transmitting it to the very high risk patients that I work with
Right.
every shift
Yeah.
is a significant concern, as well as other immunocompromised people that I interact with in my life.
Right.
So the possibility that a hopefully intended but not proven side effect of the vaccine is reduced transmissibility
Hmm.
is enough to outweigh my 60-40 for myself
Right.
reasons.
Right. Right.
And I think it was worth the decision. So
Okay. Was it a decision? Like, did you have the option?
yeah,
Okay.
I chose to register for it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I wonder when I'm getting shot up with mine.
Probably later.
Yeah, right.
You're not high risk. You're not
I am
first responder,
essential, so
but you're also remotable.
don't forget that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No, I think EB is actually getting it relatively soon for people that work in the shipyard,
Oh,
if
cool.
not already. But yeah,
Does that include you?
no, because I work in the office. So
Oh, gotcha.
like these are guys who like are working phically on the ship,
I
more or
see.
less.
Makes sense.
So yeah,
Priority.
I know that, and those guys are like, I mean, that I'm quote unquote essential, but they're like the essential ones. Like,
Yeah.
Um,
Yours is background essential.
yeah, exactly. Mine is essential just to keep the company going. For, I guess submarines are very important. So
Go figure.
yeah, right. But yeah, but I'm remotable and they're not, and so that is where our company has had a lot of cases are in, like the shipyards where like the trades are being done and stuff. I would like to do a shipyard rotation one day. I know that that's something they offer to like actually be out there like with the submarine every day.
Now, what would that look like for someone in your current position? Would you be doing the same type of work, but on the integration into the ship side?
Yeah,
or
I
would you
wouldn't be like welding and
Yeah,
stuff.
I assume
I-
not that. So
yeah.
what?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Just like working closer with the ship and like blueprints and stuff like that, like maybe answering questions.
Swabbing the poop?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, also nighttime janitor. But yeah, I feel like that would be pretty neat. But I just want to do it when it's actually nice out because I had a friend that had to do that when it was the winter, and he had to be outside in the
Oh.
winter, right on the water, like where it's
Oh.
windy and terrible.
Wet.
And meanwhile, our team was taking a trip to Florida or I think it was Florida. It might have been Virginia, but I think it was Florida. And he's like, "Oh, can I go?" It's like, you're technically not one of our guys right now." So they all got to fly down to Florida, and he was just like sitting in the cold dock.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah, brutal.
I've toured retired submarines
Mhm.
and other naval ships, but
Yeah,
I would love to see what the inside of a modern and functioning submarine looks like. And
yeah,
I'm sure there's so many levels of clearance I would need for that,
yeah,
but it would be so sick to walk around on one that is like currently on shore leave but is otherwise an active duty submarine.
yeah.
I would love to walk around and just see what the shit is going on.
I think they have stuff like that on YouTube, but obviously it's different when you're actually in it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, it'd be so cool.
with just like all the confidential stuff or like secret stuff, like not in the video, probably
Yeah.
anything you need
Like, I
clearance
don't
for.
I don't want to read any of the instruments
Yeah,
or
right.
settings. I would like to look around at the control panel and just
Yeah.
ooh and ah at the numbers of dials and levers and buttons.
I
And
wonder if you can do that in VR. If there's like
definitely
a semi-realistic sub explorer.
there's probably some stuff like that. It's getting close, man.
Yeah.
There's a Dan Carlin sort of like immersive video presentation on World War One that I have in my Steam library.
How
You can
long
check
is
that
it?
out now. Not long, like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
It's not huge,
Damn.
but it's really cool. There's a couple of things I've downloaded that are like nature or historical site exploration.
Yeah, vibes.
There's one that's the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican, and you can move this scaffold anywhere along it and like click on any of the figures and zoom
Wow.
in up close, and you are looking right at this photorealistic Sistine Chapel
Yeah,
roof.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
so freaking cool.
Damn. Yeah, I gotta explore more stuff like that.
There's definitely a limit based on your creativity with VR.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of what you find and what you choose to spend time on, and also what you do and make and create
Yeah,
and whatever.
yeah.
Like, there's so many aspects of it. You can customize your whole little base house. And
Yeah.
I've never even started.
I've seen that before where some guy spent like something like a week straight in VR or something. Like he had like modeled his whole room and everything like around him. Um
That's so cool.
yeah,
Just
it
chilling
seems
with
like
his
you would
Pokemon.
lose your mind. What's up?
Just chilling with his Pokemon.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not sure exactly. I'm sure he was playing a bunch of games and stuff, but yeah, just like yeah, I don't remember how he like ate or anything either, actually, now that I think about it.
Mom, bring me some chicken tendies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not only did he do this, but he didn't even need to model his room because he just sat in his chair the whole time.
Rolls around.
Yeah, shat in a bucket.
You're pretty close, right? I heard you. I saw you Googling designs of chairs that have holes cut out in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, basically
I'm
like
gonna 3D print a bucket under my chair.
yeah, porta potties on wheels basically is what I was looking for.
God, imagine walking into an apartment where someone's done that even once.
Yeah.
Just the stench of their room.
Dude, porta potties are one of the most just
Horrible.
not where you want to be.
And the depravity of human beings is such that people have been found hiding in them to just like get shat upon and peek at girls. And
Wait, what?
yeah. People have been like arrested for hiding in porta potties.
Like
At least
in
one
the toilet
story
or
I
just
am-
standing?
No, like in the toilet. Reflect on how horrible that is.
Oh my goodness. How do you get in there? Do you have to climb through the toilet?
I would assume he went in through the seat. Yeah, probably narrow shoulder ass.
How deep do those things go?
Only like whatever 3 feet or something.
Yeah,
Well,
so
no,
they're
it's under the part below you, so it's like maybe 3.5 feet. You can crouch in there.
The utter
Yeah, somebody saw him eventually, like looking up at them, like what the fuck.
the utter depravity. How could you not see someone the first time? Like
It's dark in there.
yeah, but there's enough
I do a
light.
peek now every time I go in. It's horrible every time, but I
Yeah.
peek just in
Oh, I
case.
always peek. Yeah, like how could you? Yeah. Oh yeah, I always peek at a porta potty. Like I look at the toilet I'm about to use. I need to-
Colorado creeper who hid in tank of porta potty and spied on women.
Like, especially-
sentenced to 3 years in prison
especially because like you
at
got
a yoga festival.
you got to see if like the toilet seat has like pee on it or something. You know what I mean? Like you got to look.
Yeah,
And this is not like an adult man.
pressed against the wall.
Yeah, that's
Noticed something moving in the tank of the portable toilet, then saw a feces-stained man emerge and run away.
Holy shit,
Police
dude.
said he was also suspected of hiding in other bathrooms around Boulder to watch women use the toilet.
Jeez, my bees, dude. Yeah.
How grateful I am that I don't have any fetishes like that.
Yeah, seriously. What a
rough life.
I hate to kink shame. I know it's 2021, but yeah, that guy's like broken in some fundamental way. He is broken.
There's a wire connected that shouldn't be.
Yeah, exactly. Some short circuit.
So, yeah, reflect on that.
Yeah.
Likewise, one of my least favorite Jackass stunts until half of Steve-O's new special.
Oh yeah.
It's so gross, but funny. Is when they bungee shoot the porta potty with him in it wearing goggles.
Wasn't like Britney Spears in it or something?
No. It was him, but it was filled with dog shit. And they fucking
Oh
slingshot.
my
It was
God.
one of the most horrifying. It was everywhere in an instant. It filled the whole, like when it hit the top, it just all rose up and
I thought they did something similar with Britney Spears.
I don't think that they exploded her full of dog shit.
Yeah, you might be right on that one.
That seems more like an inside the group type of stunt.
Yeah, that's not the one you bring in the celebrity guest for.
There are a couple of people that are, I'm blanking on names, but a couple of celebrities that have been like unmasked doing stunts with people, with the Jackass people. I don't remember who,
Really?
but like at one point for example, it was something like at one point in Japan when they were doing the skateboarding panda thing,
Mm-hmm.
it was like Matt Damon was there too or something,
Really?
also doing it. I don't remember who exactly.
But yeah, that level
like,
of celebrity.
Exactly. I'm like, what the hell? People just like detour and hang out with them sometimes, I guess.
Yeah.
And some of that might have been Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt might have been like super. I think it might have been Brad Pitt who was doing stunts with them.
He loves cameos.
He's so fucking funny. He's so lovable.
He really is.
And somehow he makes it okay when he hits a woman to death in fucking the Hollywood movie. Jesus
Once Upon
Christ.
a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in
I still
Hollywood.
haven't seen that. I really want
Well,
to.
spoiler alert.
Yeah, whatever. I've had plenty of parts of it spoiled. It's been long enough.
Yeah, Tarantino movie, but yeah, violence against women, and it seems justified the way it's done. It took an actor, man.
Wow.
Took talent to
He's
portray
so
that in a way that
likable.
didn't make you hate him.
But yeah. Oh, I had something about.
Brad Pitt?
Yeah, I don't know. My trains of thought have been off
Leaving
the
the
rails
station,
today.
off the rails.
Yeah, exactly. They've
Plowing
been
through the
falling off.
station, hitting
Yeah.
bystanders.
If I could pull a lever, I would make it hit one person instead of three, but
Here we are hitting all four.
yeah, here we are, dead on the
Coasting
floor.
sideways.
Yeah. Rolling down a hill, ruining everyone's judgment of public transportation.
I don't have a lot of U.S. public transportation experience. Most of it is from when I was abroad.
Dude, I fucking love a train, man.
I feel like I would. That
Boy,
feels
do
like
I
a lot
love
of time.
a train. Yeah,
A lot of free time.
exactly.
Reading
It's so
podcasts,
comfortable.
Switch.
Yeah, that's what I did last time I rode a train. I was just playing Switch. It's the lap of luxury because you can like actually get up, walk around. Like a lot of times they'll have like a little bar with like snacks and foods and like tables and benches like that you can like just sit at, and outlets everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah,
That was amazing. Outlets and Wi-Fi.
dude. If
Trains
America,
in Sweden, man. That was where
Yeah.
most of my train experience is now from.
so nice.
I fucking loved it.
Yeah, dude. You play cards or something.
I wish trains were bigger. in
Yeah, me
America.
too. Me too, dude.
When Elon Musk gets his Hyperloop shit going. Close enough.
Yeah. Is that still happening?
On some timeline.
Yeah.
Eventually, we'll
One
get to
day.
that level.
One day.
He plays the long game.
Yeah, he really does. He is a big picture kind of guy.
His tweets when he became the richest person in the history of humanity. Whoa, that's weird. Back to work.
Yeah. I mean,
oh, that's strange.
yeah.
Back to work.
At that point, you got to see it coming.
Yeah.
It doesn't take you by surprise.
I think that there's some like actually sort of unnumbered Saudi wealth conglomerates.
Mhm.
Like the current Mohammed bin Salmani, I think, MBS. I think that's the current
I
crown
don't
prince
know.
in Saudi Arabia. Something close to that. He yeah, more or less like rounded up all of the extended like members of the royal family and wealthy people early in his rule,
Mhm.
and I think effectively like held them prisoner until they gave him most of their oil or control of it or whatever. So he
Right.
like amassed something like 90% of the wealth.
I'd
of the
watch that
country.
TV show.
I think he himself has amassed like 90% of the country's wealth or something stupid like that
Mm.
under himself. So that is like kind of
That's
an
some like House of Cards shit.
yeah, it's kind of like an untallied figure, but I think he's actually like 3 times the worth of Musk.
Mm.
And then there's always like Mansa Musa back from ancient times who had so much gold he went on a tour throughout like half the known world, giving it away to show how rich he was. I
Wow.
think
How
it's
did he do it?
estimated at like 4 to 500 billion.
How did he do
It
it?
was just like the country
Did he own the East
I think
India
it was
Trade
in
Company?
Africa. No, it was I think earlier than that.
Wow.
Like maybe BC or early. It
Really?
was a long time ago, but he had the equivalent wealth. It was like all of the gold, basically,
Right.
most of the production of the gold in the known world was inside his borders.
Yeah.
So even in ancient terms, gold was money. Like
And this person was real.
Mansa Musa, yeah, he was a king that went on a tour, I think like from Egypt up through Mediterranean, just giving
Okay.
out gold and like going on a announcing himself tour.
Wow, I like that guy.
So that one also is like only a speculated at number, but I think even the low balls are like 2 or 300 billion.
Okay.
So I think those two people might be ahead of Musk in terms of history.
Right. That's such a different case though,
They
like
both are. All
hard to
three of those are
compare.
incredibly unique,
Yeah.
and none of them are money in the bank.
Well, isn't Bezos richer than Musk now?
Last week, Musk passed him.
Oh, last week
That's what happened.
oh,
Bezos was
it
for
was
the
that
longest time.
recent.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I didn't realize
Like
it was
in the
that
last
recent.
4 days, 5 days, I think Musk took over as the world's richest current.
That's so crazy.
Or wealthiest, not richest, I guess.
And he's a
Maybe both.
meme lord. That's so weird.
It's incredible that that type of personality also accompanied it.
Yeah.
The top guy. Way better than Bezos, who just hides in the lair of his dragon gold and
Yeah.
does whatever he does.
Yeah. Oh,
I am so appreciative of Elon Musk, especially
dude,
for
Elon.
cultivating the meme persona.
People are trashing Musk lately. I see it more and more.
I think he's got the same kind of attitude of not give a shit that Rogan espouses, where I
Mhm.
don't think it will stop him or change anything, and I don't worry about it.
Yeah.
As long as what he does continues to work, it will continue to work.
It was
doesn't
more-
really matter if people don't like him.
I think a lot of the criticisms against him have been more about his stances on certain issues. Like when he went
He
on
does have a
Rogan
couple of those.
and was saying like Corona is like not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, but there it's like,
I feel like in the way his brain works, when you statistically work the math forward against the other costs and things going on in the country and world,
yeah,
it is a relatively small deal that he thinks should logically deserve a correspondingly relative small amount of the nation's attention.
right.
I feel like he just thinks in such a different way that it is more of a problem or computation than agreeing with like a sentiment or a side or whatever.
Mm.
It's like the numbers work out to X, so our response should be Y, and we are overcompensating by X%.
Right,
Like,
right.
I feel like he just processes it differently and reaches his conclusions on probably an accurate, but maybe not the friendliest way.
I think he also has a vested interest in having lockdowns end as like
Also
the business owner that he is, which is like kind of has to be factored into it. But even to the point, like I don't know enough about this virus to like really fight the points that he's making, but like I think it's a big deal. I think maybe we should have more lockdowns than he thinks we should. But yeah, the fact that he gets so vilified by like the left essentially, like when I don't know, he is still, I think, pretty clearly a net positive to humanity.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
That
mean?
should be the clear
Just, like,
determination.
making his like electric car patents just like free to use, like copyright free, like insane. Like his electric car technology, just that's so I don't know. Trying to get us to space.
Yeah, he's working for the long game of humanity,
Exactly.
and also
trying
I
to fix public transportation.
Yeah, I think it's actually pretty reasonable to also give him more benefit of the doubt because he is a billionaire who is now on this path of like, look, they hold material things against you. I'm not going to own a house. He sold off all of his like houses. He sold off a bunch of his cars. He's like, I'm going to live with like enough. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not about the material stuff then. And it's hard to hate someone for their money if they're, I mean, aside from obviously the ways that his life would differ, if they're not living it in a flauntingly rich way relative to yours. You know?
Right, right.
in the same sense that obviously this is like a cultivated persona, but Warren Buffett lives in that same ranch house.
Mm-hmm.
The point and very effective, I would say, purpose of that is to make people like him more as like a human and a regular guy and like
Yeah.
a more approachable, relatable person.
Yeah.
Which whether or not that's like the true case, it works.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that regardless of if you say it is maybe like a pandery move by Elon to sell all of this off to say, well, then there, I think that it does deserve like a tip of the hat and waiting. Like
Mm.
people should give him less shit if he's doing this.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I think that's not worth nothing.
Hmm.
Despite the fact that it doesn't matter what he chooses to eat or that he gets flown private whenever he goes anywhere. Like,
Yeah. Right.
there's
right.
other
Right.
things.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, from start to bottom to top, I feel like that's a dude that deserves it. He put in the work. He got the hair implants. He was a balding nerd who slept in the floor of his like one room office
That
for
he was
years.
renting. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, so crazy. Yeah, that man grinds, man. He is a capitalism success story through and through. Outworked everyone
That's hustle.
and made billions of dollars doing it.
I listened to one of Kevin Hart's audiobooks, and aside
Oh,
from
he's
being
another one, dude.
read by him and very funny, yeah, that was basically what I got from it. This motherfucker can grind like almost no one else.
Yeah.
And The Rock, I feel likewise.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq. Shaq
Yeah.
has a successful music career. He's got recorded. He has like 2 platinum albums, I think.
Yeah, something like
And he's also a current DJ and a commentator and a personality, and he had a movie career, and like
he had a TV show.
and he's also managed all of his like wealth and businesses. He owns restaurants. Like he is
Have you seen
brilliant
his
at
house,
that.
dude?
No, but I bet it's big. I've
It's
seen
like
his
a
bed.
whole block long. Like it is so just like long. It's insane.
I love that. I love that.
It's
for
like a
Shaq.
bunch of other houses just stitched together side by side almost.
That's so freaking
It's
funny.
crazy.
He's a big man. He needs a lot
Yeah,
of space.
I don't think he uses most of it. He's like, yeah, I use the bedroom and the kitchen.
Yeah, I love that dude.
Mhm.
He seems like such a great guy. He's
Yeah.
fucking funny on Hot Ones and whatever else he's on.
Yeah, he was kind of a dick on Hot Ones. Like it
A
was
little
still
bit.
entertaining, but like
He was more than I've ever seen him, but still not so much.
It
that
was
I
like a
hated him.
boys will be boys dicketry, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Gave him some shit.
yeah, exactly. He was like a little bit scary and intimidating, but it's like, yeah, he's Shaq. Come on, that's what you paid for. You know?
A giant of a man.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a giant of a man.
Yeah.
There's so much variety in the human form, man. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's crazy when you see someone like him and someone like, I don't know, a
One of our
friend,
cheer
any
teammates.
friend of ours who's like 5 feet tall, stand next to each other and thinking like, you are the same species. Theoretically, these two could mate.
Theoretically. There might be physical barriers.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
probably do the research for that online.
You could, I mean, make a test tube baby for them. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have to have sex, is what I'm saying. You could breed these two together and see what happens.
like a Chinese science experiment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Had to go there again, didn't we? God damn it.
Genetic experiment, yeah.
That's how they breed in Olympians, man.
No, it's not. Is it?
I mean, not
What do
genetic
you know?
experimentation, but no, like genuinely, like
Isn't that how Yao Ming is so
Cross-pairing.
tall? Like his parents were like,
yes.
yeah.
And I think Yao Ming also got paired with the tallest female basketball player in the Chinese
No
women's league
way.
or something like. Yeah, exactly.
Do they have a kid yet?
I don't know, but not enough to be on the international stage.
That kid
Yeah.
won't fit anywhere.
It's crazy, but real fucking life.
Yeah, seriously.
And you know, honestly, like
Human
if you buy into that
eugenics.
and you're like, hell yeah, I'll do this for my country, and you make a happy life out of it, kudos to you. Cool.
Yeah,
You're contributing in some way to the advancement of human achievement.
I guess. But then it becomes like dog breeding. Like, are bred people
If they
like
get options, I don't know.
yeah, right? Like, how diverse is this gene pool? Or do we end up with like human
bunch of
pugs,
inbreeding.
essentially? Yeah.
A bunch of eventually distinct species.
That's
That's basically the idea behind H.G. Wells' The Time Machine.
right.
Yep. Eventually humanity
Wrinkle
splits
in
off into
Time?
the
Or is
underdwellers
that a
and then
different
the
thing?
overland people that were like so soft and smart and weak and the
Yeah.
underground ones like cannibalized them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
when
the
he goes
working
so
class
far into the
evolved into
future.
that. Yep.
That book was trippy. The
Yeah,
movie
dude.
was too.
Yeah, dude. I don't know if I've seen the movie, but the book weirded me out as a kid. That got me thinking in sideways.
Yeah, he like goes like so far into the future that like it's like abstract. It's like that episode of SpongeBob where Squidward
Yes.
goes, he's finally alone.
Alone.
Alone. Like that's basically where that book ends up.
In like 1898 or some bullshit when he wrote it. God
Yeah,
damn it,
yeah.
that's forward thinking.
Yeah, just like some black void or something.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I really like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy set of books and the way that they approach it. There's a universe at the end of the world, and because time works weird in this fun sci-fi book,
Mhm.
the universe is like the view from this restaurant at the end of the world,
Mhm.
or end of the universe rather, is outside the windows is the entire universe ending, like the big crunch or bang or whatever. So like it cycles and they watch you, that's the view from the restaurant watching like the birth and death of the universe for some reason, and it's just a really really cool trippy scene.
Huh.
I loved that book. That's another one that if you want to get like lost in
Yeah.
some fun reading, I have a copy of that one
That's
hardbound.
one that's always like called out to me. But yeah, I've never seen the movie, never read the books. I really don't know much about this franchise.
I saw the movie when I was in maybe elementary school and of course didn't get it.
Right,
And then I
right.
read the book in high school, loved it, and watched the movie again and thought it was okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think the book is really well worth it, especially if you can enjoy really quirky and objectively creative, probably British writing.
It seems like the type of humor that spawned like something like Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
some of that, it's a lot of it is just like goofy and ludicrous and like purposefully silly names and
Yeah.
dumbly made up Dr. Seuss ass shit.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is also very interestingly creative and thoughtful,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a good time. I really enjoyed it.
Hell yeah.
It's a good book. I have that in one of the Barnes and Noble leather-bound editions as like one of their classic books.
Really?
I have a handful of those.
What other ones do you have?
I've got Inferno, like Dante
Dante's,
Alighieri.
yeah.
I've got The Count of Monte Cristo, which I've not yet opened and read.
Hmm.
Grey's Anatomy, like the OG textbook with all the really cool pencil sketch illustrations in
Oh,
it,
okay,
in a Barnes
okay.
and Noble leather-bound.
I thought you meant the fan fiction.
Yes. H.G. Wells collection, actually.
Oh, whole collection.
Mm-hmm. And the Hitchhiker's Guide one I mentioned at the start of this. I think one or two others also,
Okay.
but at least that handful.
Have
So
you
for
read
the-
all the H.G. Wells?
No, but I've read like a third of them. Like I've read
Okay.
a chunk of the book, just not all of them.
Oh, okay. How many are there?
I think there's maybe like 14
Oh,
stories
wow.
in that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean the book is a good 2.5 inches thick.
Okay,
They're like good
gotcha.
sized books.
It's like an encyclopedia.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I like. There's something nice about reading like a quality book.
Mm.
I'm like, I feel like I'm treating myself in my leisure time.
Yeah,
if
reading-
I'm leafing through a gilded page.
Yeah, anything other than paperback definitely feels like it's more meaningful to do. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've got a good list of those, but I feel guilty if I keep reading fiction, even if it's like good or classic or like impactful or
Right.
historically significant fiction, and I have to kind of rotate my stack of books that are in the like science and research vein and the autobiography and historical vein and the like self-improvement sort of optimization.
Right. You think you're eating too much dessert.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And fiction. And I have to rotate fiction stuff in. Otherwise, it becomes, in my head, reading is a leisure activity rather than a checklist item where I'm being productive.
Mm.
But if I'm rotating it, I'm like, it's good every third or fourth book to like read a novel that just kind of flexes your brain different. And I trick myself
Right.
into thinking it's still good for me.
Okay.
But I can't just like pound through several books of Harry Potter or something now.
No, you still could.
Nah. I start feeling guilty about it.
Yeah. It's like you're eating dessert, but it's like you've been eating good dessert. Like you've been eating like creme brulee. But like at some point, like, yeah, you got to get back to the meat and potatoes, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
But like,
It's a good little rotation. I read
Yeah.
fun stuff to intersperse. Like I just read a pretty heavy 600 something page novel about an Ethiopian born surgeon who like grew up through a serious period of unrest and upheaval there, came to
Wow.
America. Yeah. So that with very heavy and deep and tragic and medical themes running through it, counterposed against the graphic novel in the Cosmere universe that I read right afterwards
Right,
as like a
right.
palate cleanse.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy reading, but I like to feel like I'm being productive when I do it. So I rotate the content and theme of what I'm reading at any
Right.
given time.
Do you do that with other kinds of media? Like, do you find yourself like rotating in documentaries to be the same kind of way?
Similarly, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, I
Hmm.
will because I
Cool.
can watch. There's a lot of great TV and there's a lot of great movies, and I could probably just do an endless stream clicking through
Of just
those.
pure entertainment.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I exactly in the same way feel some glimmer more productive if I am learning about something that I've heard about or I'm interested in. And I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, this I still enjoy and it's fun to watch, and I'm eating and having a beer while I do it, but
Yeah.
I'm also kind of learning something.
For me, I definitely have enjoyed documentaries before, but for some reason, like more often than not, even documentaries that like everyone loves.
Have you seen Icarus?
No, I haven't.
Finish your thought.
Like they just for whatever reason don't hold my attention. Um except for there are fake documentaries that I love. Have you ever seen the it's like a series on Netflix. Well, it's originally IFC, but it's called Documentary Now.
I don't think so.
So it's basically Bill Hader and Fred Armisen, and they do these parody documentaries of real famous documentaries.
Oh my gosh.
Like, so I think I was telling you about the documentary Grey Gardens. I think I brought it back up on like a podcast episode a while back. Basically, it's this famous documentary, and it's from like the 70s. And it's about these two women, a mother and a daughter, who are tangentially related to the Kennedys, but have been kind of cast out and now just live as like hoarders and older women in this.
Isolated by themselves.
Yes,
Yes, I
exactly.
do recall.
And their house is in disrepair and like whatever. And these guys come in and they just like kind of like find these women interesting. It's not an incredible story, but it's interesting. And they kind of give it a narrative or like at least cinematic structure that like was very revolutionary for documentaries at the time. Anyway, I haven't seen that documentary, but Fred Armisen and Bill Hader, the first episode of Documentary Now is a parody of Grey Gardens, where the two of them play the mother and daughter,
Oh my
older
God.
women, and it's very funny. And the whole show, like, I mean, some of the episodes are more hit or miss, but yeah, it's very clever, and I think those two guys are hilarious. But yeah, and so I'll watch those, but then I'll watch a real documentary about something real, and it just loses me at some point, and I don't know why.
Documentaries, I think I have a higher drop rate with than most other shows or movies I start.
Mm,
Like they will not keep me or I'll change my mind 10 minutes in.
right.
But there are definitely a few standouts, and one of them is indubitably Icarus.
Okay.
Unbelievable. Brian Fogel, who's been on Rogan a couple of times and is a really cool, talented person, I would say. Like, used to star in his own written play about something, and then wanted to move into directing, and then became a documentarian and was like a columnist for a newspaper, I think, or a
Mhm.
magazine. But now does very heavy hitting documentaries. Most recently, The Dissident, which is about Jamal Khashoggi,
Mhm.
the journalist who was murdered in the embassy, the Washington Post journalist.
Yes. Yeah. 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 Okay.
So he most recently made The Dissident, and that's currently out, and you can buy or rent it, but it isn't streaming with any service. Like nobody would pick it
Mm.
up because there's some Saudi Arabia tension in it.
Right. 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 And no one wants to fuck with
Yeah,
that.
so he worked with Jamal Khashoggi's fiance widow, I guess, or whatever.
Mhm.
I don't I don't think they were married, maybe fiance, to do this, and apparently it's great. But Icarus was one that came out in I think 2017,
Mhm.
and originally he's an avid cyclist, Brian Fogel, the director, and he wanted to make a documentary about doping in cycling. So he ran this bikes cycled this amateur race one year
Mhm.
completely clean, just like, training and eating whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then the next year he was going to do a full doping cycle.
Was he already like a competitive cyclist before this?
um yeah, like he was into it, but I think amateur, not professional.
Okay.
But like speedy helmet, road bike, leotard or whatever they
Right.
wear.
Right. Right.
At least that degree.
Yeah.
So the next year he was going to get somebody to help him basically do all the doping and still fool the doping tests because he's writing this story about doping in professional cycling and how they could, like, after Lance Armstrong's thing, he
Hmm.
was kind of a scapegoat for, apparently you would have to go to like 18th place or 26th place to find someone who wasn't doping
Right.
if they were to reassign the medal.
Yeah, yeah.
So like everyone was, most just didn't get caught. He wanted to write this story,
Oh my god.
compare the differences and see how he could beat it. So he got in contact with this guy, Gregory something, Nemchenko, I'm forgetting,
Hmm.
who was working at basically the Russian equivalent of the US Anti-Doping Administration,
Uh-huh.
RUSADA instead of USADA.
Hmm.
And he was like, "Hey, I'm trying to do this story. Could you help me like design a doping protocol for myself?"
Yeah.
And help, and he was like, "Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you how to get past the tests."
Hmm.
And the director's like, "Wow, this is great. This is so convenient. This guy's so knowledgeable."
Right, right,
And
right.
as he starts working with this guy on his doping cycle to film his cycling doping documentary,
Yeah.
he starts to realize that this guy was also like the director for the Sochi Olympics testing facility in
Oh, okay.
2014,
Yeah.
and he like knew all of this stuff, and
Corruption
at
goes all
the
the way to the top.
stuff was starting to leak out in Russia, and this guy calls him and he's like, "You need to help me. You need to help me." So the director buys him a flight from Russia to California.
Hmm.
He's like on the run from the Russian government, and then starts to like, the whole story unfolds of this multi-Olympic, multi-year
Wow.
international doping scandal that is the reason why Russian athletes can't compete under the Russian flag
Hmm.
this Olympics or next.
So is this documentary, is this like a mini series or is
Nope, it's
this
like an hour
a
and 40
single
minute
thing?
movie or something on
Oh,
Netflix.
wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I might
And it
definitely have to check that out.
started as a great documentary. The way he stumbled into the story organically and then became basically at the center of this massive multinational ordeal. It is insane. An
Hmm.
incredibly done documentary, an incredibly gripping story. Still going on also. Like he's currently in witness protection, that scientist
Yeah.
in the
Dude,
US.
that reminds me of another parody documentary. I guess it might be a parody of Icarus, but it's called Tour de Pharmacy. And it's like a fake sports documentary. This one's an HBO one. And it's with like Andy Samberg. I know John Cena's in
Oh,
it
oh,
as like a cyclist who's like very clearly on steroids. Um, and
that's
it's
hysterical.
yeah, it's just like all that kind of stuff. And then there was another one in the same like little series called 7 Days in Hell, which was about a 7 day long tennis match between these two tennis players. One of them played by Kit Harrington, the other one played by Andy Samberg.
Oh my
But yeah,
gosh, what a
dude.
crossover.
Yeah, dude. Those
That's all
are
documentary now?
no, no. Those are HBO ones. I forget exactly what the like collection is called.
I
Um,
need to find those. That sounds
yeah,
great.
they're like 40 minutes each too. They're like hilarious.
Oh my gosh. I want to watch
Yeah,
that tonight.
yeah, yeah. We should try to find it after we're done recording.
Ooh, we have just
Actually,
enough time.
how much time do we got?
We're almost there.
Okay, okay,
8, 9 more.
okay. Gotcha,
We can handle
gotcha.
that.
But
What else has
yeah.
been on your mind? Do you want to stay on this thread or do we want to branch into something
Hmm.
sauteed for the end?
Sauteed.
Or saucy, whatever.
Are you?
I'm a little hungry.
Yeah. True. Oh man, I could eat. But yeah, dude, I've been doing my freshly stuff recently, learning to cook.
What was your favorite thing you've cooked recently? And what do you think that you will actually remember or use on your own? 2 questions.
So some of the stuff I really like are just how they have me make sauces. Like there was this one time I made like pork chops with a jalapeno gravy, and it was like incredible.
Jalapeno gravy for sure. Because I had pork chops with like a glaze from them and it was great.
It was called jalapeno gravy on
Okay, then
the,
it's something else.
but yeah, it was like a brown sauce though with like jalapeno in it, and
I made a glaze with the kit I had and it was
mhm,
really good.
okay, so that was
Maybe I
pretty
will take
cool.
that coupon if you can't use it.
Yeah, it says to give it to a friend. It doesn't say like here you go, here's $40.
Cool.
It's
Well,
yeah, everything about it says give to a friend. So
maybe
yeah,
I'll do one more.
hell yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, it's
They
cool.
take some time, but they were tasty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some of the stuff I'm trying to think. The thing is, just chopping garlic is so friggin' annoying, dude. If I ever were to like cook some of this stuff, I would need to buy chopped garlic because that is often the thing that takes the longest. Like peeling off cloves and then like chopping them into little like finely diced pieces.
My grandma got me a garlic masher for Christmas. So
Oh,
here we go.
damn. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
And also an herb chopper, which looks like a little silver wheelbarrow that you put herbs in, and it's got like rotating, basically like a mini wood chipper,
Oh
actually.
yeah, I had to
But that's so
chop.
specific, and it will only work on leaves. It's these flimsy little blades. Like,
Yeah,
when do I ever do that with fresh
I
herbs?
had to chop rosemary once. That was annoying. But again, I've only had to do it once. It's not something I see myself
Well,
doing
now I
often.
have a specialty tool for the job.
Exactly. I could use a peeler too. That's one thing that trying to learn to cook has made me realize, like, especially at the beginning, dude, I didn't have measuring cups or measuring spoons or
Oh,
anything.
Steven.
I was eyeballing so many measurements.
Oh, Steven.
Yeah.
Those are essential.
Yeah, well, now I have them, thank God. I let my mom know and she came to the rescue at Christmas.
I've got a limited set of kitchen tools, but I've got enough.
Yeah.
And I know you need those.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I went out and got myself a cast iron pan. Sometimes more hassle than it's worth.
Agreed. I haven't used mine in a little while.
Yeah. If I'm cooking a lot of meat at once, I use it for meal prep, but I don't really use it for anything else.
I think that's when it shines, when it holds all the heat, when it sears all the meat.
Yeah, exactly.
Bars.
Hell yeah, dude. Holds all the
Put that
meat,
clip right
sees
up
all the
front.
heat.
I dropped my arm on Freya's head 3 times during this podcast because it's
Oh.
still right there.
Yeah, she don't mind.
She doesn't move when I accidentally do.
Dude, I love this morning because I woke up before you and I just like I walked out, saw that she was awake, and I just went back to my bed and started like quietly whistling, and all of a sudden I hear her just like scamper into the room.
There's cuddles to be
Yeah,
had.
exactly. I was just like and then all of a sudden I hear her like rustling over to my bedroom.
Skitter scatter, pitter pattering across
Such
the
a good
floor.
dog.
Such a good girl. And she's in heat.
Hell yeah,
This
dude.
might be it, dude. Freya might
Uh,
have puppies.
Maybe I'll adopt. Who knows? Probably not. If you get a half blind one, let me know.
Oh yeah.
All
right,
If you get a busted
The
puppy,
next time we have a busted
I'll
pup,
consider it. I'm not making any promises right now, but
I'll let my mom know. We've got someone lined up just in case.
yeah, just in case one of them's like a little broken.
Pretty good. I think we've had that one puppy of like all the litters
Hmm.
that was the only issue that we've had with puppies. I think one dog I recently found out was like 4 and might have gotten cancer.
That's a common problem in Goldens, isn't it?
It might be.
Yeah.
I think that's Daisy.
I think
the
I've heard like
oldest dog we have.
60%
She's
of
got
Goldens get
so,
cancer.
Yeah, Daisy's,
Something like that,
Daisy's
yeah.
almost done, sadly.
Yeah.
The progenitor of our puppy line.
Mama
But,
Daisy.
yeah, so Daisy, the grandma, and then one puppy. I don't think across 60 makes too bad of a trend. In
Right.
I think that's good, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
So far, at least. There are puppies that Daisy had that are now 8 years old, 9 years old almost.
How old is Daisy?
She's like 10, 11.
Damn. Old bitch.
9 or 10 at least. So yeah, there's like 8-year-old.
Yeah.
I would say 8.
Huh.
But yeah, Luna's taking up the mantle well. Maybe Freya now. We'll see.
Yeah.
It took her supposed to be like 6, 9, 10 months between heat cycles for a dog, and it has been 15
Yeah. And as a
or 16 maybe.
As a couple of fellas promotion right now, if you like and comment this video and you are subscribed by, let's say, March, or by the time Freya has puppies, you will be automatically be entered into a raffle to win one of these puppies. As long as you like and comment on this video and you are subscribed.
How many, genuinely, if let's say this happened and I had a spare puppy to give away instead of sell, how many people do you think that would genuinely spread to? Like if it was like sharing got you 3 entries, so although you sharing it might get one more person to compete against you, you get 2 extra tickets for them equivalent.
From us.
Or whatever. However it works. Like the you get a point or an entry.
You're saying how far could we spread it? Could we
Yeah.
get it to spread in that time
like
specifically?
how many people would get subscribed to our How far would we be able to spread if there was like a 2-month window for a free golden retriever puppy?
And we really push this shit. Like
Yeah.
we're like, hey guys, subscribe to our
and
podcast.
there's
You
benefits
could win.
for people who share it. Like again, they get 3 entries
Right,
if the
right,
person
right.
joins, which
Yeah.
one, so like it's not outnumbering.
Yeah. Yeah, you get an extra
feel like
entry if you like us on follow us on Twitter, you get an extra like
Do we have a Twitter?
entry. I don't know. You get an extra entry if you're part of our Patreon, you get an extra entry if you're on our Twitch, like all that
Hell
kind
yeah.
of stuff. If you leave a comment on iTunes, you'll get an entry.
And if we ever do another raffle down the line,
Yeah.
everyone who has maintained subscribership to everything that they originally did
Hmm.
gets an immediate 10 tickets to the next one.
I see what you're
So
saying.
that in the 2 years off in between, stay friends, stay
Yeah,
subscribed.
exactly. Yeah.
This is like a Ponzi scheme for
Yeah, this
podcast
is
puppy
like
marketing.
exactly. Yeah, this is the marketing side of the podcast. I mean, I see people do stuff like that. Like that's what people do with sweepstakes. Just they don't do it with dogs. They do it with a PS5.
It's
Or
probably a
like
little more ethical, but as long as it's to a good home,
I see
good
those
puppies
ones
are
on
good girls.
I see those ones on Instagram all the time where it's like win this like repurposed like VW van and $20,000.
Oh, Maze.
Like yeah,
I see the free
exactly.
entry for those all the fucking time.
Well, they're oftentimes not free. Usually for
There's
those, it's
always a free
like
to enter. There's an option at the
oh,
bottom.
okay,
It's a legal thing. If you
right,
have paid entry contests, you have to have an option not to if it's a marketing thing or whatever.
interesting.
Yeah, that's like
Because aren't
same
they
thing
for
for, like-
charity or are
same
they
thing for like the McDonald's pieces. There's a free to play way to do the Monopoly.
right?
It doesn't help you or get you nearly as far, I think.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there has to be for all of these things, any sweepstakes you saw advertised as a kid, there had to be a free to play option. They can
Huh.
put hoops in, but
Why
otherwise
is that?
I think it's a gambling thing.
Oh,
Otherwise it's gambling. If you pay in for a chance to win, but there isn't a free to enter option, you can
okay.
pay to increase your chances to win, but it can't be the sole basis for it, I think.
Right.
Otherwise
right,
it's
right.
like kid gambling, kid advertised gambling.
I see. Okay.
Actually, I think that is the reason. I remembered it halfway through my semi-fuzzy recollection.
How about that? Yeah, you reasoned your way to it.
Look at that. I could be a politician.
Yeah, really.
God, no.
Just word vomit till it sounds good.
I did a little bit of a space out the other day, like yesterday maybe, when I
Mm-hmm.
was driving, wondering about that, like trying to imagine if there was a point down the line where maybe I was doing the practicing doctor thing, started a side business, and like that stuff's going well, but I want to change. Like, would I ever consider, could I ever see myself in a position of like putting myself out there to try and be a politician? And honestly, it did not appeal at
Yeah,
all.
I
Like
don't think so either.
I tried fitting it into the mold of like, could I stand to the left of Andrew Yang at the next primary?
Yeah.
Or would I hate to be there and hate to be involved in it and hate to
Yeah, I don't have good
even
enough
hate to-
ideas.
even hate to proceed? Like, I think I would hate doing the work to polish my ideas and my discourse enough to. I don't think that I have terrible ideas in terms of like the way that I fall on a lot of the important issues or anything. I think that
Mhm.
they're pretty good and well suited for like a majority serving democratic type politician,
Right.
but I have so like not a shot. It sounds so horrible every way I imagined it. It's like, would I ever consider like a local politician, but city council or a mayor or something sounds even worse. I think that there's like not a fiber of me that would want to do public office in any regard. I
You
don't know
think-
why I daydreamed into this, but I night dreamed myself out.
Yeah. You think that that would be worse being like a part of a local government?
I feel like the pressure and attention and hate would be maybe lower and less constant, but I feel like the pettiness and frustration and bureaucracy could be amped up. Maybe, I mean, bureaucracy is different, but like,
Mm.
I feel like at the local level, there could be literal stupid feuds between a department and it's one person in each, and it could like just derail shit. Like, I think one person has more ability to gunk up the working parts. And
Mm.
over the last couple of years, my overall impression of all politicians at every level has been so significantly lowered
Mm-hmm.
that I don't expect the people that I would be working with in that local public office regard to be able to all handle their shit and not be petty and not be basically small town drama. The same way high school shit
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of my high school friends has carried on into like young adult drama, into the same like work friend relationship patterns and loops and shit.
Yeah.
Like, those are then some of the same people that run for office, and that you're just dealing with high school drama. I feel like it's pettier and more personally to me frustrating, that level of drama and bureaucracy. Whereas, yeah, the overall pressure and responsibility and difficulty would be greater on a national scale. Of
On like
course.
being like a senator or something like that.
But also the hand holding and backdoory shit and private cuts and big checks and everything gets more
Yeah.
lucrative as you go up.
Yeah.
And I think that disenchants me a lot
I
because I
wonder
don't
where you
think
can
you can
make
do it purely.
I wonder where you could make more meaningful difference on a local government scale or if you are a senator. Like, is it so hard to get the Senate to really budge one way or another as a senator? Like,
That it's not even effective, so to speak.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That you have such less, or like, compared to like all the business interests and other politicians and like whatever else is like stopping you, as opposed to like a local government where, I don't know, you
I
might have more direct access
yeah.
to
I
a smaller group.
You would probably be able to slightly affect more people with the national. You would be
Mm,
able to greatly affect fewer people with the local.
yeah,
So that it's depending on the scope.
right, right.
I think it would be a bigger relative change. Thinking like Parks and Rec, Pawnee.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bigger relative change for those locals than what change you would accomplish at the national level, most likely,
Hmm.
but distributed among a much greater population.
Yeah. Generally speaking, for most things, I feel like they should be like brought down to a local government level. But of course, I have my exceptions for that, and
And you gotta.
and I'm sure if I really wanted to think of exceptions, I could just keep thinking of more and more.
Yep.
Something like civil rights. Yeah, federal government should like just kind of like crack down, make that a thing. Should not be a states' rights issue on civil rights. And I'm sure I could think of
International
more.
military stuff is probably not a state government thing.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a good line.
Borders in general.
There is a good line to split. It's just that there's so many people profiting so immensely from the status quo that it's hard to move the line to the correct part.
Yeah.
And also,
Ain't-
aside from just propagating profit, a lot of people are in a lot of different situations and have a lot of different priorities, and not anyone really agrees
Yeah.
on what line is correct.
That's the thing. So many times,
There
even
isn't a right answer, really.
so many times, even with someone you disagree with, you can identify a problem and just have like maybe opposite solutions to it. But now it seems like people can't even identify the same problems as each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's an interesting insight. You would hope that things would pendulum in really take any example of a situation that is not ideal,
Hmm.
and you would hope it would dial in the way that lockpicking in Skyrim goes.
Right, right.
You hone in on it, use a metal detector.
You overcorrect less and less every time.
Exactly, but it doesn't seem to want to go that way because as it swings past, the people who gave it that impetus keep pushing.
Yeah.
And then like
'Cause it's all they
trying to get it to
know.
flip over rather than rest at neutral.
Right.
And well, you'll have to check in with us next time to figure out how we solve the political crisis in the world. This has been A Couple of Fellas.
Peace out, y'all.